Welcome to TOSTV, people. Every Arsenal fan around the world. Welcome to another match day special where we're going to be dissecting Arsenal versus Sheffield United. Arsenal apparently won 3-0, and every fan around the world should be happy with that display because this is what every Arsenal fan has been expecting from Arsenal Football Club. Listen, people. It was a Wenger-esque display from the Gunners. Lacazette found his shooting boots. Danny Ceballos' backheel practice paid off. Was Arsenal that good or Sheffield was that poor? Martinelli's infectious energy as well. And Saka is back to the injury bed. That is not what we want to hear, but listen, that is exactly what has happened in the game today. What are your thoughts, people? What are your thoughts? The link is right open. If you want to come in, if you want to talk to me about this game, I'll be glad to hear your opinions. It is pinned in the description and it's also pinned in the live chats as well. You can come into the studio if you are confident and you are not shy. Let's get cracking with the player ratings. Let's get right into it, people. All right. You see this guy on the screen right now, Martinelli. But just before then, what was this game about? Was it a case of, listen, I'm just going to play my second team, and they go out there to do whatever it is they can do, and then my first team is going to play on Thursday against Prague. But it turns out that the team that he's actually put out today seemed to be very fluid, free-flowing football, tiki-taka, one-touch football. They seemed very confident on the ball. And I think from my own perspective, my own opinion, this is what Arteta has been trying to get out of these guys. And I think today it kind of paid off. But there's always going to be the question, was Arsenal this good or was Sheffield that poor? I've got Mossy Boy in the waiting room. Let's get Mossy Boy on here. He's been a big critic of Arteta. But listen, we don't know what his take is going to be in today's game. But let's listen to Mossy Boy. Hello, Mossy Boy. How are you doing?
Yes. It's your Mossy Boy again. How are you doing? You okay?
I'm all right. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Not too bad. Yeah, it's a good game. For the well, you know, I know a lot of people will say it's only Sheffield United, but like a lot of people always say, you only beat what is in front of you. Anyway, so they play really well today. You see, this is what I've been saying. We can actually see proper. Look at the first goal. That is proper Arsenal identity. Go and look at most goals Arsenal scored under Arsene Wenger. It's like moving one touch.
So how come did it work today then? Does that mean that Arteta has been trying this and it just doesn't come off well for the players? Because today the one-touch football came out for many of the players, and this is what I have been trying to tell you for a long time. Unfortunately, you never saw it. I've seen it. But then again, I'm not going to get over myself. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I'm not going to get overexcited. It's just Sheffield because Sheffield has been poor this season. But then again, this is still under Arteta, and you can see what they're playing. So was it down to the formation change, or what exactly do you think was happening today?
I think it's down to the energy they brought onto the pitch. A lot of people, I can understand that the manager is trying to protect Martinelli. That is kind of, but look at him today. He's never let all the defender rest. The ball goes to them. He's on a pace. He's just keep going, and he gets his reward at the end of it. He scored goals, so which is good.
So do you think it was all down to? Do you think it was all down to Martinelli? Because for me, I actually saw a lot of good one-touch football from Saka and Pepe today. Saka was playing the 10. Apparently, Ceballos fooled everyone. He fooled me when I first saw the lineup. We thought Saka was going to be starting on the left back, and he caught everyone by surprise. Today, Ceballos was doing all his back flips, right, left, and center. They were all, coming off well for him. I was a bit shocked. So don't you think maybe the formation had an impact on the game today?
Yeah, the formation had an impact on the game. And again, I'm sure because Xhaka is one of the players in Arsenal team that always watch AFTV and he always watch most of
Sorry,
Arsenal,
who?
Xhaka.
Right. Shaka?
Yeah, Xhaka. Yeah, he said it. He said he watched AFTV. He likes it. So I think maybe probably he watched it the last game they play against in the Europa. Maybe probably what he kind of see how angry they are. Maybe probably went back into the changing room, tell them that look, we are not giving the fans what they want. Look at them today. Nobody is going to fall if they play like that in the last two games. Nobody is going to be having a go at them. It's like what?
And you don't think the opposition matters?
The opposition matters, but I don't know what is wrong because even though Sheffield right at the bottom, the last game of Sheffield United I watched, they are right at the bottom, but the way they are playing, it doesn't look like they're at the bottom of the table. But maybe probably the way Arsenal took the game to them today is completely, it just shocked them, and they just say, "Wow," because they will be thinking, or their manager will be thinking, "Oh, it's only Arsenal, just rough them," and they're gonna collapse. But they find a different thing on the pitch today, and it's a win. I will take it as a win. I'm not going to get ahead of myself anyway.
All right then, Osman Ali. The game has been dampened with Arteta saying after the game that Tierney will probably miss the remainder of the season. Saka's knock is worrying. What do you say about that? Because obviously these are our two best performers this season, and going back to what I was telling you the other day, remember I asked you yourself and Epic the question, would you be playing your best team? You say you're going to be playing your best team. However, you can see now that Emil Smith came back from injury, is back to the injury bed. Saka came back from injury, is back to the injury bed. Does that now change your outlook does that now change your viewpoint of things, of the fact that playing your best player sometimes is not always going to be the best thing? You need to give them a bit of rest and a bit of rotation simply because of the pressure on them. And we can see, we also had Martinelli having an injury scare, let's not forget, because I was thinking it was not going to continue. And that was going to be Odegaard, Emil Smith Rowe, Saka, and then Martinelli on the injury bed. So do you now agree that rotation is very vital and important?
Yeah, but I know rotation is very vital and important. But what's it called? Xhaka.
There's a but. I want to hear the but.
The but I want to, that's Xhaka has been playing week in, week out, both in Europa and in the Premier League. So
how many players? So you're bringing one player, which is a rarity. This is a rarity.
Yeah.
So do you think a rarity is supposed to be the rule? This is a rarity. Not many players are like that.
No, yeah. Where I'm going is, if a player is fit enough to be on the bench, is fit enough to play, to start again.
That's where I disagree. That's where I disagree.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, I've had a lot of people
say that. I disagree.
Tade, listen. If your best player is fit enough to be on the bench, then it's fit enough to start.
And I said I disagree. And I said I disagree.
Why did you disagree?
Good. Because I heard you the first time. I don't know why you're repeating yourself. I heard you the first time. I heard exactly what you said.
Hello, my little girl.
How you doing? Is she an Arsenal fan though?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Hello, beautiful. Hello. Let me remove.
All right, go on, Mom.
All right, that is doing football business. Yeah. Bye-bye.
I'm doing something. I'll come and meet you in a minute, okay?
All right. So just before I see your comment, Psycho Vibes, and I see your comment, Osman Ali. All right. So this is the thing, right? I don't believe in that statement. I've had a lot of people make that statement, and I want people to really think about this carefully. When you're in the dressing room and as a manager and you're under pressure, there are several times that players need to be managed. What do I mean? They need to be managed in such a way that if you are going to make the matchday squad, doesn't necessarily mean that you're fully fit. It just simply means that you might be told right from time that, listen, if the going gets tough, we might have to manage you to come in for a few minutes. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're 100% fit. And the only reason managers do that, is simply because they are the mercy of the best players. They know that they can't trust many of the mediocre players in the team. And many times they look at the best players and I'm like, you know what? I'd rather have a half-fit player in the squad than a full-fit player who is not going to offer anything in the team. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when people say that someone has, because someone made the squad, simply means that he's fit enough to play 90 minutes or start the game. That isn't always entirely true. Take it from me, especially from conversations I've had with some football agents, conversations I've had with some coaches. It is not always the case. It's the case of, let me just manage this guy and put him in the team. Just in case. Just in case. And let's not forget, there was a time that Terry was on injections when he was playing for Chelsea. I don't know if you can remember this yet. He was on injections. several injections, and those things are not very good for the body. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is. Let me just answer this question from Psycho Vibes, yeah? So I realized today these players play conservative when facing better opponents, and it does not come from the manager. Do you agree with this statement?
Well, kind of some. Well, I can understand what he's trying to say. That when they play better opponents, they kind of a little bit go back into their shell.
Because they're scared.
Today, because they're scared, and they kind of they're too cautious of conceding from a better opponent, because when they know that if they're playing a better opponent, they concede goal, it might be very difficult for them to go and get equalizer. When they are pushing up to go and get equalizer, they're scared to concede the second one, and it's a milestone for them to climb. They play in Sheffield United today. They know that Sheffield United is at the bottom of the table. They just go all out, and I think that is what he's trying to say here.
Right. Hello, hi, Bimiga. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Hi,
nice to have you. How is Nigeria today?
It's good. I'm actually in Nigeria at the moment. But
is it? Okay. All right, then. Are you in a secret location, or if you don't want to tell us, that's
fine. I'm currently in Maryland, US.
Oh, is it?
Oh, okay, that's good.
Where's Maryland? America?
In the US.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, this name sometimes you can even have Maryland here in England. You never know. Anyway, all right. Cool to have you. So, what's your take on the game generally before we go into player ratings? What's your take on the game? Can you hear me?
Well, yes, I can hear you. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad we won. It's 3-0. I think most people expected us to win today. It would have been really embarrassing if we didn't. We won by such a commanding scoreline. We played differently today. Like we were, we went out to get the win from the beginning to the end. We didn't even stop. And I thought that was very, 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 very exciting. I just wish we would be this confident against other opposition as well. So, for example, Lacazette had another one-on-one today, and you could see this time he didn't overthink it. He didn't, he didn't try to be fancy. He knew what he was going to do, and he did it. Simple finish, back of the net. On Thursday, you could see that he was trying. There was so much going on in his head, and he made the wrong choice, right? So,
apparently, sorry, go on.
Yes, please.
Apparently it was a Wenger-esque performance, like I said. And I asked Mossy Boy this question. Do you think it was down to the opponent, or do you think it was also down to perhaps the formation change? Because Arteta took us by surprise, everybody. When we saw the formation, I'm pretty sure everyone thought Saka was starting on the left back. Definitely, that's what I thought. And I thought Ceballos was going to be starting in the attacking midfield position, because that's what I said in the video that I did earlier today. And I thought I didn't know about Saka starting. I just felt Ceballos was going to start in the attacking midfield position. But Saka was playing the number 10 role today. And I saw a lot of interchange between himself and Pepe today. A lot of tiki-taka. Obviously, we saw Ceballos doing all his back flicks and everything. They were all going in. So do you think it was down to the opponent, or do you think it was down to the formation, which no one expected?
I mean, I think it's a mixture of both, right? I think it's a mixture of both. You can't take away the quality of the opposition. For the first goal, for example, the way we played through the defense, some other defenders might have anticipated those moves better, right? But then I also agree that the change in formation, I must mention Granit Xhaka was so impressive today. You think he's a natural left back because he just held it down fully. So I think, the change in formation really helped. And I feel like Saka did a better job in the number 10 position than Ceballos would have done. Right.
Yeah.
As we said, we've seen Ceballos play there a few times, and I don't think he has done as much. But Saka being there today, he just has like a magical connection with Lacazette somehow. They're just able to play together. Yeah, they're just able to play together so well.
I think it's quite interesting you say that, because I know you are one of the critics of Ceballos, because he holds onto the ball too much. And I think I'm not gonna lie, I think sometimes, I don't know about you guys, I noticed that he was holding onto the ball a little bit. In some cases, sometimes I'm supposed to release it and all that. And some cases the back flick, they came out quite well and all that. I mean, what's your thought on Ceballos' performance, Mossy Boy, today? Sorry, I'll get back to you. What's Mossy Boy?
But watching Ceballos today, he helped. What's it called? Lacazette today.
Okay, Lacazette.
No, Lacazette. Partey is sitting, and Ceballos is in front of him. So it lets Lacazette not come all. Today I didn't really see Lacazette like what he normally do, come all the way to the back.
He
to go
did.
and do it. But it's
So
not.
many times,
It's not. No, he did, but it's not like in the past game that you will always see him there all the time. So when Ceballos hold on to the ball, when Ceballos get the ball, you will see Lacazette is on his bike already. So then the same thing. That's why he scored that second goal. Immediately Partey got the ball, he's on the bike, and I like that through ball Partey gave. He just whip it across the behind the defender, and I think maybe probably he played really well today. I would say Ceballos, and he showed a lot
I'm
of.
really happy for him.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for Ceballos because after the series of errors that he made against Benfica,
he made another one today. He made another error today when he kicked the ball today.
But those errors can really, especially in a team like Arsenal that isn't living up to expectations at the moment, those errors can really, really damage a player's confidence. But then Arteta has in some sort of way stuck with him regardless. So Arteta still gives him a lot of opportunities. And I think that, that is helping his confidence. He didn't seem like a guy that was distraught today. It seems like, okay, you know what, I have a fresh opportunity. Let's go at it. And he played some beautiful football. Like, so those back passes and all of that. I think I'm really happy for him that at least he got to have a confident performance again. And he always turns up against Sheffield. Who remembers it was the one goal in the FA Cup?
The FA Cup,
quarter-final or semi-final against Sheffield last season.
Quarter-final, I think.
All right, then. Just before we start, Martinelli, Psycho Vibes just said we still don't exploit the runs off the shoulders of the defenders. Martinelli kept trying to run off the shoulders, but did decide for the safer options. I think, honestly speaking, right, I don't think I noticed what you're saying, right? But there's something we also need to understand. It is not every time players will see the runs of every player. And in some cases, it's not also every time that the player on the ball is comfortable to give that pass, probably because of his own position, probably because he doesn't trust his own self to be able to deliver that pass at the right time. There are so many factors. But in spite of you saying that we don't exploit those runs, I still saw a lot of times that we were able to give the right balls to the right people that were making runs. The point I'm trying to make is you can't be perfect 100% every single time. I don't know what people's take is on this. Bemiga, what's your take on this statement? I don't know what you think. But
for me, I agree with it. And I also agree with you, Tade. I think that sometimes these players don't trust their ability to actually deliver that pass accurately. And many times when you don't deliver the pass, then you've opened up to a counter-attack. Nobody wants, especially, and I always mention that the position we are as a club at the moment is ingrained in everybody's memory. Nobody wants to make a mistake. Nobody wants to be the one that made us fall further down, right? And you will see this in the Europa League as well, because the Europa League is a knockout game. Nobody wants to make the mistake that knocks us out. So everybody's really careful. And sometimes you're like, if I do this thing and we lose the ball, they'll counter attack us. Let me just look for the safest option. So I think that if we become more confident, if we're in a better position, players are feeling a lot more confident, we will see that kind of football more often. But for now, there's just a tendency to try to be a bit more cautious because you don't want to be the one to mess it up. And that's
I think that goes with what Psycho Vibes. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, what I agree with what you said on that statement. I agree with both of you there. And again, what I want to say is the manager's job to stick the confidence into those players. That's what they call sometimes you have to do all those risky passes. It can come off. It might not come off. If it comes off, you're lucky. If not, then you just have to kind of back at it again. So I think the manager just needs to stick the confidence. If you see it, just play.
Sometimes the best the manager can do is to talk.
Yeah.
The rest is in your head.
Yeah, that's right.
And many of those things in your head is not very easy for you to do anything about it. The person himself has to remove every other thing that is in his head that is holding him back and gain his own confidence by himself. The best the manager can do is to give you inspirational quotes,
This is why I said last time that if you're on a training pitch, you're playing 100% or 110% on the training pitch. on a match day, when it comes to a match day, that 100% will probably drop to 90 because a lot of things is going around you that you need to be aware of. It's not like a training is completely different from playing football match. So, you know, you just have to kind of a little bit cautious than what you do in training on in the match game, really.
All right, cool. Let's get straight into Martinelli now. I'm gonna start with you, Bemiga. Can you rate Martinelli? What's your take on his game today?
So funny thing is, I rated him in like when I saw him, like I thought it was good because at that point it was only right. I had a rating in my head for him, right? I was going to just give him a 6, right? Just because Martinelli is somebody who I think we fans show a lot of favoritism for him because he's young and we see the talent that the boy has. And a lot of people have been disappointed that he hasn't got enough game time this season. So to just see him on the pitch playing, you're like, thank God. You get, even if he hasn't put in an exceptional performance, you're just glad this guy is beating his match fitness because you know it's going to come good, right? But then the moment he scored, I'm like, okay, now he gets an 8 because even a lot of people say that goal was an easy goal, but he was at the right place at the right time. There have been many times when we've had such opportunities, but there was nobody there to take the rebound, but it was at the right place at the right time. And then throughout the game, he was running, he was putting pressure on the opposition. He was, he was doing everything. He was in front and he was at the back very quickly. And I really, really enjoyed that from him. I like that he's not allowing these injuries and his age get to him. He's still going on the pitch and giving that energy. So I'll give him an 8. I really enjoyed it.
Give him an 8. All right. What about you, Mossy Boy? Let me just hear what you have to say about this. Although this is still Birmingham's rating. Do you agree with the 8?
It's Birmingham's rating. I think 8 is a little bit too high, but my own rating, I wouldn't give him nothing more than 7.
All right, guys in the chats. I don't really know what you're gonna rate Martinelli, but what's your rating for Martinelli? Would you rate him a 7? Would you rate him an 8, or were you just very happy to see him? Because obviously there could be a bit of sentimental attachment to the fact that he's playing, and a lot of people kind of like Martinelli that way, so I can understand it. But listen, we'll probably stick to your 8 on this one. And by the way, guys, if you want to do your player ratings, the player ratings is right there in the descriptions. It's right there on the live chats as well. Please endeavor to do the player ratings, and perhaps later I can check. I keep forgetting this all the time, but we're gonna stick to 8 for Martinelli. All right. Willian comes in as a substitute. I think he was going to come in as a substitute for Martinelli, but when Saka then got injured, he probably changed it up. Right. What is your rating for Willian, Mossy Boy?
I'll give him 5.
All right. Is that because he didn't have much time, or is it because
he didn't have much time? When he came on, he kind of run around, But yeah, I'll give him 5. Nothing more.
All right.
He deserves the 5. I mean, typically what used to happen is when Willian comes on, bad things start to happen. But no single bad thing happened today. Willian came on, the game still continued well. We even scored another goal. So yeah, 5 is fine.
All right then. We've got Jonathan on today. Hi Jonathan, how are you doing?
Hey Tade, I'm fine. How are you doing, lads?
How are you doing, Jonathan? You okay?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine.
Great, right, good to have you here. All right, let's move to the next player quickly. This is gonna be interesting. I think I'll do the rating for Pepe today, people. Pepe is someone that he is so inconsistent that it frustrates the hell out of me, right? And when he puts in a performance like this, right, I still see some cracks in his game. I'm not gonna lie. For instance, first half, there was still sometimes his first touch was letting him down. He was losing ball too cheaply to the opponent in some cases. But I was much more impressed by the tiki-taka one-touch football, which is something I've complained about when it comes to Saka. That he doesn't release the ball too quickly. But I've been seeing a lot of changes over the last 2 months in his game. He's now releasing the ball more. Perhaps maybe that's what the coach has told him, and he's now beginning to realize that, listen, holding up to the ball is not necessarily football, in my opinion. It is about releasing the ball at the right time. And I thought he did that a lot today. perhaps, just perhaps, Saka must have helped him because, honestly speaking, I enjoyed the one-touch football, run of the ball, and he also led to the goal for Martinelli. Let's not forget that. It was his shot that got parried away into the path of Martinelli. Yeah. I felt today he was really on point. There were still some little cracks, like I said, in his game. Sometimes the one touch, first touch let him down in some cases, but I thought generally overall, he was really, really good today. He's learned how to release the ball as quickly as he should be releasing the ball. And for that reason, if you are going to rate Martinelli 8, I will have to give him 8 as well. This is my rating for Nicolas Pepe. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I think 8 is fair. What? Just around the table, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, let me just say that. So Pepe is he's a very frustrating player. I can't lie. He's a player that can be so good and yet so bad in one single game. It's strange, right? He would have these moments of pure magic, and yet he'll have moments where you're like, dude, what did you just do, man? You know? And that's just, I don't know, I guess that's just a day Pepe, man. Like, you just have to hope that when he's having his good moments, he creates goals. So yeah, I mean, I would say maybe a 7 is what I would say. He had a chance to score, and he could have scored. He decided to give the ball to Nketiah. Oh, okay, well, that was selfless. Maybe he thought Nketiah hasn't played, and he finally gets him some minutes. Well, clean on goal. Let me square the ball to him and let him score. Because I thought Pepe would have scored that day. Normally, he knows how to find the corner. But yeah, I would give him a 7. I think he had. I mean, we won 3-0, and he contributed to one of the goals. You can't score him. If I maybe even one of the goals. So yeah, you can't score him less than a 7 in that game.
All right.
I do agree with both of you what you just said about Pepe. So you don't know what you're gonna get from him on a game day anyway. So as for me, if I'm gonna give him rating, I'll probably give him on today's game. I'll probably give him 6.
6?
Yep.
I don't agree with you on that one. I'm sorry.
Boy is wicked.
I don't agree with I don't agree with you on that one.
I agree more with Mossy Boy, to be honest. I agree with him.
I won't give him more than 6 today.
Nah, 6 is you cannot.
Listen.
He was above. Okay. He was well above average.
He was well above average. Yeah,
maybe 7. Maybe 7 will be fair. Maybe 7 will be fair.
No. If I'm giving Martinelli 7, I'm going to be giving him 6.
Okay, so what did he do for him to get 6? Explain that to us. And because obviously Jonathan.
So you mean what did he do?
What did he do for you to give him a 6? What? Why are you giving him a 6? Explain that to us.
It's because I'm giving him a 6 because that is the only. He never performed above what he's done today in all previous games.
No.
That is standard.
Explain to us why you're giving him that rating. You're bringing in other games. We don't care about other games. Yeah, in this game, explain to us why you're giving him 6.
So you tell me what has he done in today's game apart from setting up the second goal. Tell me what has he done? Apart from setting up
the second goal, he created a lot of dangerous situations with him and Saka on the ball. I could see so many times that he created so many chances for the likes of Saka that actually led to him creating his own chance from Saka's perspective now. So the point I'm making is going forward, the fluidity of the attack, the movement going forward, many of the attacks came from him and Saka. So the way that you're rating players is not necessarily based on the final ball. It's not always about the final ball. It's also about what
I'm rating them overall on what the impact they brought into that game on that day.
Exactly. So you're telling me
that is what I'm rating them on.
So you're telling me
what I'm saying to you is Pepe today hasn't done anything than what he usually do on a game. That's it. So he has never look at. I'm not.
So you mean setting up a goal was something that he does in every game? Is that what you're saying?
No, well, he creates an assist in some other games, and he scored goals in some other. If he scored a goal today, I would give him 7. It will warrant 7 from me. That's my own opinion. But on today's game, he doesn't get anything more than 6.
Right. Jonathan, what were you saying, Jonathan?
Okay, Jonathan, please.
I was going to say I would have maybe given him more a 7 because I could see from which points of view you came from. I agree with Mossy Boy on the fact that okay, made dangerous runs, but sometimes his touch would maybe sometimes let him down. I also see why you gave him an 8, because he set up Martinelli's goal. He made also dangerous runs. He was creating, but I didn't think he stood as much out Martinelli or Saka or Lacazette. So that's why I will give him a 7, and the rest deserve, of course, in my opinion.
So naturally, I would have given him a 7. All right.
Yeah.
But I give him an 8 because obviously Bemiga already set the bar high by giving Martinelli an 8. So ideally, if you ask me, I would have given him a 7. Right. But I didn't see a reason why he should be getting. I didn't see a reason why he should be getting lower than Martinelli, if you see my logic. And that's the reason I gave him an 8. Ideally, so maybe just Bemiga has set the bar high. Ideally, I would have given him a 7. I don't think Pepe put in a 6 performance today, in my opinion. I felt I don't know, if you're grading A, B, C, I felt it was like more like a B performance, and a B start from 70, depending on the grading system you're using. So that's the reason why I feel a 7 is just good for him. But anyway, let's not dwell too long on him, right? Sorry, go on. You were going to say something.
I was going to say, I mean, with Martinelli, right, it's just sentiments, and he actually got the goal, right? So it's why I would give him an 8. But yeah, I think a 7 is fair for Pepe, in my opinion. All
right, let me just give him the 8 here, because you said the bar high. Let's not lie. But El Neni, we'll skip El Neni. I don't think he did much. Pablo Mari, this is for you, Jonathan.
The backline of Arsenal didn't really have much to do, didn't they? They didn't really have much to do.
They headed the ball a lot.
Yeah, they headed the ball a lot, of course, when the danger was there. They did. You kept a clean sheet, though, the first time since 15 games, which is a positive. So, yeah, for that, I'll give him a 7, Pablo Mari.
Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah, because I was so scared that, the thing that happened with Liverpool, will happen. Like one player just jumped above everybody else and scored a header. But I was really glad that he and Holding, they just headed everything away, and they helped keep that clean sheet, because another day they could have considered 1 or 2 of those headers.
All right,
put your phone on silent. Come on.
We'll give him 7. All right. David Luiz didn't play today. Cedric didn't play today. Leno, Mossy boy, rate Leno.
I'm still, but today, I will be honest on Leno. I'm still worried on this guy, trust, because he kind of catched. Today I was watching him. I don't know why he's catching the ball twice. It's a ball that you should just catch once. You just have to catch it, drop it, and grab it a second time. And well, he hasn't got a lot to do today. But I think we need another goalkeeper that is going to push him. And maybe probably because they said he's the number 1. Any other goalkeeper that comes in have to be. They need to kind of just let him know that, look, we are getting a goalkeeper, so you have to fight for your share. So to me today, I'll probably give him 5.
What?
He keep a clean sheet, but 5. Yeah.
Mossy boy is wicked, man.
No, I'm not. I'm not wicked. I'm not wicked. You have to look at.
Oh my days, man!
You have to look at the performance.
Yeah, but I'm shocked.
And again, listen. He's so slow. He's so slow on the ball. He's very, very slow. This guy. There's one time a Sheffield United player nearly caught him before he managed to kick that ball out for long. And you can see the striker running at you. Just get rid of the ball. But that striker about to intercept, and the ball just went out. So this is what I'm saying. Like,
okay, can I ask you a question? Because obviously, I like to challenge you a lot, because I feel you give a little bit. All due respect, outrageous ratings, in the sense that it's a bit too harsh. It's just a bit too harsh from my perspective. So you're giving him a 5, right? What mistake did Leno make in today's game? Please, can you tell us?
Well, he didn't make. That's what I just said to you. But by a ball that is supposed to catch once, he catch it and drop it and just scramble to grab it the second time.
Is that a mistake then?
There is a ball that coming from I think it's from the right hand side, and instead of him to, as a goalkeeper, they got goalkeepers have got bigger hands, right? They just catch it and you just palm the ball on the floor and you just. come on. This is Arsenal Football Club goalkeeper. You know, go and watch back all the maybe probably I would say from who am I gonna since I would say since David Seaman left, we have never had like a kind of a very good goalkeeper that comes into the club. But to me, I won't give him anything more than 5 today.
So that means Lehman wasn't good enough then. And
Who?
he won the Invisibles. Lehman.
Yeah, but
that's what you said.
I can't remember Lemon. Yeah, he won the Invisible. Yeah, he's a good goalkeeper.
All right, cool. All right, let's give him a 5 then. That's fine.
Can I just say something on Leno though? So Mosibo is correct about like the problems Leno has in his game, and that thing of pushing the ball down before you catch it is one of his biggest problems, and that problem has put him into trouble a few times in the past. But I think on this game specifically, he didn't make a lot of saves, but that's not his fault. It's because they didn't attack us as much, right? And then he did this one chance where he could have caught the ball, but he pushed it out, and the ball still came back, and they almost got a goal. But apart from that, Leno at the moment, we all know, is broken. The man is low on confidence. But today, and maybe because of the opposition, he played out of the back a lot more than he has done in like the last 2-3 games. He played out back a lot more. His distribution was improved. He didn't give away any balls, right? So for that, right, I do think he deserves more than a 5. But Mercy Boy, reputation of being a harsh man.
Yeah. All right, Lacazette. Well, I think Jonathan, you're gonna get the honor of rating Lacazette.
9.
All right.
A 9.
Okay.
Great. That was a Lacazette under Wenger when he was banging in goals for you. That was what it reminded me of. The 2 finishes he had. That second goal he scored, that's a pure striker finish, just out of instinct. He knows where the keeper starts at bottom corner. That was a class finish.
Well, I mean, it's interesting you say that. That was Lacazette under Wenger, but he was never
because
really
he used to run in behind most of it. Because I know this season, I think Sheffield also played it a bit to your hands. They were a bit more expansive because they defended with quite a high line. So you could play like Partey when he turned, he could easily slot the ball through for Lacazette and run from his man, and he could easily slot it in. And that's Lacazette at his best.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he's never really been prolific, in my opinion. He's never really been. He's always been. He's very good with. I mean, he's very good scoring away, and even now he has a lot of goals. Most of his goals have come from away. Yeah. And there was the season when he was the best player in Arsenal. It wasn't because of his goals, because Aubameyang actually had more goals than him. It was mainly because of his contribution generally to the team. And that's one of the reasons why people like Lacazette.
Lacazette is not. He's a goal scorer, but it's not. When you're talking of a ruthless striker, he's not a ruthless striker. Like a striker that is going to look up, see where the goal mount is, and he just hit it. Like for example, like Aguero. Aguero doesn't look up. He only look up once. And you know where that goal mount is, and bang, he's going to hit it. Now he's going in. But if not because of his injury, I don't think Man City will let him go. But it's what it is. But it's just if I'm going to rate Lacazette today, but anybody that is going to get from 8, 9, 10, maybe probably a striker is scoring hat-trick, then or maybe probably they work their socks off. Given today he scored 2 goals, I'm going to give him an 8. But 9 and 10, it means a striker is scoring hat-trick, then they're giving like maybe probably more assists on the pitch on that day. So I think 9 is for me is a little bit too.
Well, I think no one will want to be in your class if they're a student. Just moving on quickly. Nketiah doesn't get it. What are you going to give him? I think what Jonathan did there, 9 is fine. For me.
Oh wait, I have a question. Who would you rather have taken? Still have kept Giroud or Lacazette? Which one of the two would you have taken?
Yeah, because of the work rate of Lacazette. Yeah, I would keep Lacazette.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I will take Lacazette as well because I mean Lacazette is not a prolific striker like Tade has pointed out. And as in Giroud, I don't know. I don't think he was a prolific striker as well, because Giroud, I know Giroud used to frustrate us so much with many missed chances, right? And I think that Lacazette, he has a better all-round game than Giroud. Giroud, though, in the box where you need a goal, lob all the balls into the box, and Giroud will get you something. But I think all around, Lacazette plays a better game.
Yeah, so we can talk about all round, and we can talk about who is more of a goal poacher. I would say Giroud.
Giroud is more of a goal poacher.
Giroud definitely.
Giroud cannot dribble a man to save his life. He cannot take on a man. We understand that, right? Yeah. But put him in the box. He's better. He's better than Lacazette in the box. In my opinion.
Do you
know what I mean? So they all have. I think it's a tough question because it depends on what the game plan is. It depends on, what sort of team we're playing against. And this is why I felt Giroud for me is a player I would still like to have in the team, right? But I wouldn't have him as out and out number one striker, if that makes sense. I will need him in my team. When I'm playing the likes of Sheffield United, I'm playing Burnley, Giroud is your man. He's gonna win all those headers. He's gonna win all those areas.
Just keep crossing it in.
Finish headers and everything, So that's one of the reasons I love him. But anyway, let's move on. Nketiah doesn't get anything for me because I feel that he didn't really have much to do. Chambers, let me rate Chambers. I think obviously Chambers tried some crosses today. I would say some of his crosses, honestly speaking, I had to go at him a few times when I felt that some of his crosses were just hitting it on the men. But then again, his job really isn't to attack. His job is to defend. I think he did well. There was a time that was it Egan? One player overtook him and he ran back and was able to win a tackle. There were also several times that he attacked, like I said, and he couldn't just get his cross away. But there's one very interesting thing, right, which I want a lot of people to notice. We'll get to Xhaka later. But you notice that Xhaka was not operating forward. He was just staying there in the defense. He wasn't passing the halfway line. He was dipping into the middle, trying to help the central defensive midfielder, trying to help the midfielders as well. So the operation was more from the right-hand side. And this explains a lot about what Arteta does. Arteta has looked at all his fullbacks, right? When Tierney is playing, you see the attack comes more from Tierney's side.
Yeah.
This just tells you that there's instructions being given. Attack comes in from Tierney's side because he knows he's the most potent among all the fullbacks. But in today's game, who do you think is more potent? Who do you think has the speed? If Xhaka should mistakenly go forward and go and attack, that's it. We're done because he won't be able to catch the guy when he's running back. So I think that's one of the reasons why they decided that, listen, Chambers, you be the one going forward to help the attack. Xhaka, you are just going to sit back. And I felt I'm going to be giving this guy, I'm going to be giving him a 7 simply because he kept a clean sheet. When he was called upon, I felt he put in some good tackles when he was called upon. And he kept a clean sheet, which is very, very important. So I think I'm just going to be giving him a 7 simply because they kept a clean sheet. If he did not keep a clean sheet, and I have to consider all those wayward crosses that was hitting players right, left, and center, I'll probably give him a 6. But I think a 7 is fair. I don't know what you guys think.
I agree with that.
Martinelli, yes! Arsenal money.
Yeah, it's fair. And I think, so the thing with a lot of these Arsenal players is you just see that there's a little bit of quality that is lacking. If they just had that little bit of quality, they will be so dangerous. So, for example, Chambers, the thing about somebody like Trent Alexander-Arnold, for example, is there's a way they cross the ball. They know how to find their man in the box, right? Some of these Arsenal players, when they put that cross into the box, they've just put it and hope that somebody reaches it. You don't really see that technique of trying to find an exact man. And I think that's what's missing in the quality of the crosses, right? If you can add that to their game, these guys could be really dangerous.
So this is the thing, right? It's interesting that you say that, right? I love the fact that you brought that up because this is why I keep saying something that Mosibo and I keep going back and forth, right? What is the definition of quality? For me, right, and this is where different people have different yardsticks and different definition of different things, right? For me, quality encompasses a lot more than just flashes of brilliance in 1 or 2 games. No, quality for me encompasses consistency, right? Consistency in your show of quality, consistency in your ability to improve yourself continuously in the game of football, and not just showing me glimpses one day today. In 3 days' time, you show me another glimpse. In 4 days' time, you show me another glimpse. I want consistency. And I think my definition of quality is not a case of today now, Arteta, we're going to win say for instance 5-0, right? We win a game 5-0, and everyone says, "You see, I told you these players have quality." No, that's not enough for me. Quality should be consistent. The reason why the big teams are better than us, the Bayern Munich, the AC Milan, no, well, not AC Milan. AC Milan was like us for a while, but let's just say Juventus, Real Madrid. They are consistent across the board, across the number of years, across the season. Not the situation whereby you use all your energy in one game, like we played against Tottenham. Now everyone thought we had arrived, but we haven't arrived because we're not consistent in it, right? So I don't know what your definition of quality is. I'm going to start with you, Mossy Boy. What is your definition of quality?
You know, I mentioned something the other day that is these players, they still got a lot in them to come, but it's just like I don't know whether the manager cannot get the best out of them. So every time I see, like today now. Why can't they play in the last two games they play? Why can't they play like that? The way they play today, why can't they play like that in the past 2 games? That's why you and I were arguing that about the manager that is not getting the best out of these players, because the best of them is yet to come. All the players that are there, they are good enough to play for the club. That's why the club brought them in. So, but now we need someone that is going to bring that quality out of those players. Look at today now, for example, like, okay, I don't know what they talk about in the meeting room. I don't know what they do in training, but you know, if they put in 110% the way they did today into all the other games, we're not gonna be asking for the manager's head. We're not gonna be coming down here every time to come and say, oh, this guy deserves only 2, this guy only deserves only 1 in the rating. We're going to be supporting them because we can see that they are working hard and they are trying.
Do you agree with Mossy Boy on this, Bemega?
Yes, actually, I do think that the manager isn't getting the best out of the players, but I also think that and I've mentioned this so many times, they're in a bad situation. And in the situation that they're in at the moment, I don't know how they got there. They probably got there because of some mistakes, some tactical mistakes we made earlier in the season. So I know earlier in the season, we stuck to 3 at the back at a time when we should have introduced the number 10. There's some mistakes we've made that have gotten us to where we are. So where we are at the moment in the league, we're in a place where we're trying to improve our league position. And when you're playing a team like Sheffield, they're at the bottom of the table, as in you're used to them, you don't have to fear them. You know you can beat them, so you're allowed to play the way you played today. In the Europa League, the mindset is different, right? Even though, in my opinion, I don't think there's a difference between Slavia and Sheffield. I don't think Slavia is significantly better than Sheffield. But because it's a knockout game...
They're the top of the league.
Oh, well, okay, well...
And they've won the league. They won the league the last 2 years. So.
Yeah, they won the league in the last 2 years, and they are top of the league this season. If that team is in the Premier League, they would be in the same place where Sheffield United are.
That's an insult. I'm sorry, but
I'm
sorry. You can never know that. You can never know that.
You can never
know
that.
You cannot authoritatively say that. They go to the Champions League and they get to quarterfinals on the regular. Do you think Sheffield will be getting to the quarterfinals?
They get to quarterfinals how many times on a regular? You said on a regular. How many times?
You actually cannot know that, to be
honest. Across the board, since they've actually been. You saying that for me is an insult to Slavia Prague, and you are saying it like you actually know. Come on, Slavia Prague has been leading. They've been winning their league for years, and this is the thing.
It's just like Celtic winning the Scottish Cup all the time. Yeah.
So you're telling me? So you're telling me? Hang on. So you're telling me if Celtic should come to
the Premier League?
So you're telling me Celtic will be relegated? That's what you're trying to tell me.
No. I'm not saying.
That's what you just said.
Maybe I'm just exaggerating, but what I'm saying is they're not going to be on the top half of the table. Do you think Celtic will be in the Premier League and they will be at the top half of the table?
Why not? Why can they not be in the top 10? Why can they not be in the top 10?
But anyway, let me finish my point. I get you guys. Let me finish. But what I actually meant is, I mean, in the actual games that we played, I don't think like Slavia played better than Sheffield when they played against us. That's what I'm really saying. So I think that, but the difference is in the Europa League, our mindset is a lot different. We're a lot more worried of being knocked out, and so the way we also play is different. So for that reason, I think that has hindered the display of quality in a lot of our players. But that aside, the reason why somebody like Pepe, Lacazette, Granit Xhaka, Leno, as good as we think those players are, the reason why nobody in the general world now, the reason why a lot of people don't rate them is because they're not consistent. So you see the quality, we know this guy is good. There's something in there, but you do it once in every 3 games, nobody's gonna rate you. And it's the reason why we rate players like Tierney and Saka and maybe even Aubameyang, because on a consistent level they have displayed their quality.
So
Tade is very right.
Yeah, so go on.
Tade is very right when he says that when you talk about quality, you also need to talk about consistency. And I just feel like if we were in a different situation, right, if we were playing better, if we had not made a lot of tactical errors like we've made, we would actually be seeing a lot more quality in our players because they'll be playing with more freedom.
But before
the reason I said this, sorry, hang on, Mossy Boy. Sorry, I just want to chip something. The reason I said this is because even under Arsene Wenger, right, we had the likes of Theo Walcott, we had the likes of Chamberlain, right, to mention a few that were not consistent at all. And then you had Van Persie that was consistent. So the question now is, does it mean that we're getting the best out of Van Persie and we're not getting the best out of Chamberlain and Theo Walcott? Or they're just not good enough? Because sometimes you will see Theo Walcott against Chelsea some years ago, banging how many goals? Tomorrow, he's back to default Walcott. So is that down to the manager not getting the best out of him, or he's just not good enough? I don't know.
I think it's a combination between a player's consistency, how he's doing well in training, and the mentality that he approaches on the pitch. Because with Van Persie, whenever he came on the pitch, you could see he was a warrior. With Walcott being a young kid, I think you could see that there were a bit of frivolities in his game, and due to injuries, he never should have developed how he should have been. And at a young age, I remember 2007 he was brought to the World Cup. I think it was just a sign of. I think that was like a way to say, "Oh, I've made it. I can relax now." When Van Persie had to fight for his place because he was fighting for the likes of Van Basten and all them. There was competition at that Holland team when Van Persie was a young kid at Arsenal, so he knew he had to fight for his place. While Walker was like, "Oh yeah, I'm at the England squad. I can just chill now. It doesn't really matter anymore." And I think the key to a quality that I think I'll mention a Liverpool player, Andy Robertson. He is not the most sexy footballer in the world. He's not the one that's gonna do step over the score, top bin goals and all that stuff. But one thing that I love about Andy Robertson, it's his mentality, how it comes on the pitch. You know, every game, even when Liverpool are on a bad patch, he will always give 110%.
That's right.
He always takes the game as serious. Doesn't matter if it's a FA Cup game against Accrington Stanley or it's the Champions League final against Real Madrid. He'll always take every game 100%. And that's, I think, the key to consistency is always that your whole team as a group of players has a good mentality. And we had the likes of a midfield of Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum, and sometimes you could say Milner and all that. It's not the most flashiest midfield, but what did they all stand out? They have the perfect mentality and the perfect work rate to take game by game by game.
All right, then. All right. No problem. Thanks a lot. I still maintain some players are just not good enough. Simple. There's no two ways. Even if they play in the best of games and all that, honestly speaking, we're just going to be going back and forth about.
I agree with you that some players are not good enough, that they're not ready to pull their weight. It doesn't matter where they go, or it doesn't matter where they're playing. So, yeah, I do agree with what you said.
All right, Shaka. On that note, who is the next person? Who is supposed to rate Shaka? I can't remember now. I think I rated Chambers, so it has to be Bemiga. I think it's Bemiga. Bemiga is the first. Yeah. Okay. It has to be Bemiga. Bemiga, can you rate this guy?
Actually. Shaka really impressed me tonight, and I wanted to point out that Tade was very spot on when he mentioned that Xhaka wasn't going forward as much, right? Yeah. And you could see on different occasions he will have the ball and he would send the ball to the other wing, and he did it like 3 or 4 times during the game, and it was so dangerous. You know, so instead of going forward, it's almost nice that I can't go forward. I need to find a way to send this ball away to that can actually go forward, and he would send that long ball. And so I think that just that discipline, right, in staying in your position, even though it's not the natural place you play, you're not tempted to run into the middle and forget that, oh, I'm left back, you know. And then we kept a clean sheet. He did for me, he did a decent job. You can't really fault anything he did today. I would also give him a 7.
All right, then. We'll give him
well,
a 7.
I'll probably because he's playing out of position today and he did really well. I'm thinking I can't believe I'm actually saying this to Xhaka. He did really well today to me. I was my eyes is glued onto him with the way he's tackling all his, you know, he's there. He's been a leader on that pitch today, Xhaka. He's not the captain, but he's been the leader out there today. I was even thinking I'm probably going to give him more out of all the back four. Yes.
This is a miracle.
Yeah, but I seriously,
unbelievable.
I'm not even believe I'm saying it because he played really well today. Trust, and he's not playing in his position as well. Maybe probably it's because of the opposition. They're not actually attacking his side. Maybe that is the reason why he actually kind of.
You know, this is why I said I rate Xhaka among most of the people in that position. And Bemiga said it all right. It takes a lot of skill, and I'm going to use myself as an example. I remember when I started playing for a team called Igbo Rangers. I was 21 back in Nigeria, and I was very young. I was 21. I was playing with older people that were in 30, 31, and every single week I played in different positions. Every goddamn week. Today I'm playing right back. Tomorrow I'm playing left back, center back. The most daunting experience was when I played center back, and the second daunting experience was when I played defensive midfield position. Right. I'm a very versatile player. Even in my current team right now, Hope Church FC, my manager shop. I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie. I have to confess, I don't like it because there's nothing much more than there's nothing much more frustrating than you not playing your favorite position. Right? You have to sacrifice for the team. Right? But the context switch in the head, which is what Bemiga said, the context switch for you to be able to keep that discipline. To know that you have to change your style of play because you're playing left back today. And within the same game, and this is not the first time Xhaka has been used in different, even under Arsene Wenger. I remember one game when we had, I think, a red card, he switched to the centre back position.
Centre back, yeah.
It takes a lot of discipline for you to be able to switch and acclimatize to that position in the game, in the heat of the moment. You're tired, your brain is dead. It's hard. That's why you find that very few players in this world are very versatile and adaptable. For instance, you look at the likes of Philip Lam, who was very adaptable. You look like Kimmich today. You look at Alaba. Those players are rare, right? Not many of those players can just switch and chop and change. And I'm saying from my experience, I knew how daunting it was for me the first time I played defensive midfield. I was very young. And it was as if the world was going to swallow me, right? But there was the man that kept on telling me, Tade, keep your mind at rest. Just be pushing the ball forward. Every time I got the ball, I was just passing it to the right back or I passed it to the left back. I was scared. I was scared going forward. I didn't want to lose the ball. I didn't want to. And that was my first time. And developing that versatility is a skill in itself that you have to develop. And these are one of the reasons I rate Xhaka. Sometimes I just wished Xhaka had the little bit of speed. And maybe his waist is a bit looser than it is. If you can, I'm not even kidding right now, guys. If he was a bit faster and maybe he's a bit flexible, because he's not very flexible. Sometimes his turning is very slow and all. Yeah. I think there's a player in there. Imagine he has that speed, because many times he's always fouling people because they've outrun him. I feel sorry for him, but there's nothing he can do. It's his nature. He can't do anything much more than that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think that's the problem with Xhaka, really, in my opinion. But anyway, I don't know if you guys want to add to that, or we'll just move on to the next player. Saka. So this is for you, Mossy Boy.
Quick question, but move on from Xhaka. Would you play Xhaka in left back on Thursday?
Yeah, if there is no left back, I will play him there because it's
because no, there's no left back.
Because like what Tade said earlier, this guy is a versatile player. He can anywhere you put him, he's going to put a shift in, right? So we don't have a left back. We're not going to be playing, because to me, playing Cedric at left back, he's just going there to do the job. But it's the goal they scored, those guys scored the other day. It came from him. Instead of him to hoof it up the pitch, he passed it back. They got corner, header, they score. So, and today you can see what Xhaka is doing. He get the ball, he just switch it to the other side. Okay, let me switch it, because if they get the ball from him, I can't run. Then and if I get on to foul someone, I might get sent off, or I might get a card, and they get a free kick, they score from there. So I'd rather play Xhaka at left back, or maybe probably just play the team that played today. Yeah, if all of them fit on Thursday.
Yeah, it also makes you you can afford to do that, because if you play Xhaka left back, he knows he has to stay a bit more back and be careful. So you can then play Ceballos in midfield and just give him the freedom to go and express himself. I think that will work out better than probably Ceballos, and you could play Saka back in the 10 and just keep Xhaka at left back. So you can definitely, and maybe you could push your right back, Chambers. But yeah, Chambers is also quite casual. Then you have just your steady back four. Focus on backs or right backs bombing forward.
It's interesting that, just before we move to Xhaka, please, I think you'll be the one rating him, Boy. All those cross switching from the left back to right back, that's dangerous. I don't know if you guys know that. That's the rule of, and I think because he's not, because he's not a left back, naturally, he's doing that. That is one of the basic rules, right, of right back, left back. Never do cross balls from the right back to the left back, except you really have to. Maybe you're under pressure, you had no other choice and all that. It's not.
Liverpool do that.
Liverpool do that
because they know what to do. They're used to it. That's how they play to get out of pressure situations.
But they're very high quality players. The point I'm making, I'm talking about basics. The basics. Yeah, it is dangerous. Very dangerous.
We scored 2 goals in one of our previous games when Cedric was playing left back. It's not a left back, but he keeps switching that ball. We switched 2 of those, and we scored 2 goals from there. No.
The switch I'm talking about is not in the attack. Understand what I'm saying? The switch I'm talking about is defender to defender.
To defender. Oh, okay.
And that's what what's his name? Jonathan is trying to say, right? Defender to defender. And guess what, guys? There was either a game that we played that Xhaka did that. He crossed to a defender and they intercepted it. I don't know if you guys can remember. I'm not having a go at Xhaka. I'm just saying that it's possible because he's not used to playing at that position. He's doing that. And people can do that. Don't get me wrong. People can do that. They're allowed to do that. But you have to be a high quality player to be certain. Because when that ball gets intercepted, that is calamity waiting to happen. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, Mossy Boy, please can you rate our dear Saka, please, before he got injured?
Well, he was doing well before he got injured. So on that note, I'm gonna give him a 7.
You give him a 7? 7? Wow.
On that, well, because he was doing well before he came off. Yeah.
All right, let's give him a 7 then. All right, who's the next person on the list? Bellerin. Can I ask a question about Bellerin, guys?
Yeah.
He's been in and out of the team. I think this is the third Premier League game now that Bellerin hasn't played, right? And is it safe to say that we're seeing the end of Bellerin? Jonathan, I'll start with you.
Well, all of it. If you never know, if he plays in the Europa League on Thursday and they win, they go through. He could just be the starting right back. He could also play in the final all of a sudden. I don't. Could it be because in the media about talking about the moves to PSG, his agent came out and talked about it? Maybe that could be an Arteta wants to play with players in the Premier League that are focused in playing at Arsenal. Because he's not. You could say, the last 3 Premier League games. It's a tough one. I'm not really sure. Could be that he stays on next season. Maybe then the PSG change their mind and go, we don't want Bellerin. He hasn't played that much till the end of the season. We cannot make a bid for him because we're not sure how he is. You just don't know, to be honest. Maybe Arteta all of a sudden thinks, you know what, let's play Bellerin all of a sudden again.
Okay. All right.
I think what we say to that is I think the club, the manager started to plan his life for next season without Bellerin. Yeah,
Plan life.
yeah. Well, he started to plan the team without Bellerin. So because you playing Bellerin, or you maybe probably he's looking at, okay, I don't want to sell Chambers. I want to give him another season, and then I'm going to go out there and bring another right back in. So he probably knows that Bellerin is going to be going in the summer.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I agree. I do think Bellerin is leaving. I want him to leave. I'll be extremely happy for him because I think he's one of the players in Arsenal that everybody slags off. Deservedly or undeservedly, doesn't really matter, but I think he needs the new challenge. And I do think that Arteta is planning for life after Bellerin. I just really hope that they actually go out and get a right back, because if we do sell Bellerin and we don't get a natural right back, then it will show that we're serious as a club.
All right, cool, fantastic. Who is gonna rate a holding? I think is that Jonathan?
It's Jonathan.
Yeah.
Can you rate holding?
Yeah, holding same as Murray. Didn't really have much to do. Had a lot of balls away. Kept his clean sheet after 1 in 15 games. So I'll also give him a 7. And Tade, you also said that Holding and Murray, your best partnership was in the beginning of the season. If I was
I've been
correct.
saying it. Yep, I've been saying it for a while.
Oh, there you go. You find your best partnership for the Europa League final.
But
This is their fourth clean sheet, and they've had it put together.
Yeah, you see, this is why I always have a go at the manager. If he knows that those are the two guys, they have more clean sheet than any other two centre back that they are partner themselves. Why can't he kick those two players to be, that okay, these are my two centre back? Why?
So what happened is this, right? Let me answer that. What actually happened? If you remember, I don't know if you can remember, they played 3 games together, clean sheet.
Yeah.
And then that game, I think either the 4th or the 3rd game, he had a concussion. Remember, the first concussion substitute was Holding.
Holding, yeah, that's right, yeah.
That was that game, and they had to substitute him. And after that, he didn't play again. We didn't see him coming into the team for the next 3 or 4 games, right? And then, unfortunately for him, I think that was a good excuse for Arteta, right? In the sense that he had to give Gabriel, because Gabriel then came back from COVID at that same period. And then he gave Gabriel a run. Honestly speaking, I totally agree with you. I feel that if you want to really win, you need to use your best centre-back pairing and all that. I totally agree with you. I feel Arteta should have stuck with those two because that's my preferred option, However, you can look at it from the flip side, and maybe he wants to give the other players, playing time. But Arsenal right now cannot afford to be given. We really need wins.
Wins, yeah.
And I kind of understand that. Jonathan, you were going to say something. I apologize.
I think because with Gabriel, when he came in, he was how much did he cost? How much did Arsenal buy him for?
25 or 30?
25 or so. 25.
I can't remember now.
I think because Arteta knew that the price tag with Gabriel, I think he just had to play him, because otherwise there would be question marks raised. Like, he was our marquee man signing. Why are we not playing him? We're playing Murray and Holding. It's not really inspiring. But out of statistics,
and let's not forget. Just to add to what you just said quickly, sorry to interrupt you. He was also the best player for Arsenal 3 months before then. Before he went on injury, before he got the red card.
Mosaboy is right. If it's your best pairing, you play your best pairing. Doesn't matter what's a better.
What I want to quickly say to that is, if you are looking at a price tag on a player, I will give you one example, and the example I want to give you is, I'm not sure, is it EK or IK when he went from Bournemouth to Man City? How much did Man City pay for him?
Okay, 50 million.
50 million. About 40-50 million. How many games did they play?
That's a steal.
Yeah. How many games did they play this season?
But you can't compare Man City. You can't compare Man City.
No,
come on.
Man City have money to waste.
What I'm trying to say is, if we're looking at the price tag on a player, then okay, this guy cost 70 million, this guy cost 25, this one cost 3 million. The 3 million player might be doing good. Just stick to him. You know the
funny thing, you don't forget that Man City spent 300 and something million on their defense.
But
anyway, Bemika, you were gonna say something.
What I was also going to say is, I think that centre back is one of the places where, as a club at the moment, we have too many players. And it's also a position where you can't afford to chop and change all the time. You want to have a consistent centre back playing. So Arteta is always in a dilemma. He needs to give his people playing time, right? So there's Luis, Mari, Gabriel, Holding, even Chambers in centre back as well. So, and you always have to try to give these guys playing time. And also because sometimes, you know, the thing with Arsenal is when we start playing badly, we play badly for a run of games. You know, we never really have one bad game and then recover the next game. So sometimes when people have a bad game, so there have been times when they Holding had a bad game. And you know what, Arteta just, the pressure is there, the media is shouting, everybody is saying the players are shit. It's going to take the player out of the limelight for a little while, play somebody else, right? Then give the guy time, bring him back into the game. And I've seen him do this with Gabriel Holding. So, for example, you see that Gabriel was benched today because everybody called for his head after he and Cedric messed up against Slavia. Man took him out of the limelight today. You know, he said, let somebody else play. So that in case you have a bad game again today, they're not going to, pile it on this player. I think that's one of the things that Arteta does well these days. Is it's good and bad anyways, but like sometimes it's good for the player as well to just, step back a little bit and let somebody else take the hit. So.
All right. All right. Jesse, you're actually very late because we're almost rounding up. But how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. Comfortable win. 3 good goals. I mean, Lacazette, good finish. That first goal was quality. That was quick, good play. It was very, very good play.
Arsene Wenger. Reminds you of Arsene Wenger?
Yeah. The second goal, Martinelli deserved it because he was very good. Like, I was very happy that he started today because he deserved his chance and he proved what we missed of him, literally. And Lacazette done well. He finished his chances, which is what we needed to see from him, literally. Because after first day's disappointment, missing that one-on-one chance, he had to bounce back from it, literally. So, comfortable win.
All right. Can you rate Tade then on that note since he just joined?
Oh, Partey, great assist for Lacazette in the third goal. Literally, brilliant. I'll give him a 7.
You give him a 7 today. All right.
Yeah.
What's everyone's take? What's everyone's take on Partey's performance today?
I agree with 7 because I wouldn't give him more than 7. I think he went back to go and watch how he played in the last game. Today he was solid, and he just he just played simple. That's all.
Do you guys think? Sorry, go on.
I was going to say that was the key to his game today. It was a lot simpler, Against Slavia, it was doing way too much. This one, it was a lot simpler. Just played a simple game. He gave the ball away a few times, but it was not like a unhealthy amount of times like he did against Slavia. And then that assist, the body movement, just beat that guy and just find the spot on pass.
Yeah,
that was
Do you think Thomas Partey is physical enough for the Premier League? I have my doubts, and maybe it's too early for me to say that. But Gio keeps telling me this, and honestly, I know there's a little bit of truth in what Gio keeps telling me. I know you guys, some of you know Gio. Gio keeps telling me that, listen, he's always been muscled off the ball and all that many a times. And I think I've seen times that he's been muscled out. Do you think he needs to develop his physical fitness for the Premier League? Because who are thinking is going to be the next Vieira, but he's far, far, far away from that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
This is what happens when we hype players too much, right? Partey is good, but then when he came, everybody painted him like he was going to be a savior. That sometimes get to your head, man. Like, man, this is the Premier League. This isn't the Spanish league. You need to develop what it takes to boss this league, right? So I think maybe just that whole thing of like, oh no, Partey is such a great player has affected his game in the little time he's here. But now he needs to wake up, man. These people here don't joke. So I think you're right. He needs to, be a lot more physical, and but the quality is there. If he just, if he and his manager just help each other, and he just develops that side of his game, we would have a really good player on our hands.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. So we give him a 7, right?
Yeah.
All right. Ceballos, the the back heel merchant. Because
Playing number 10. Playing number 10.
I think I'm gonna rate him. All his back heels today were on point. I felt like today it was I don't know whether last night or during the weekend he decided to go for some back heel practice, and all that back heel practice came into fruition today because honestly speaking, it didn't put any foot wrong. I think apart from at times when I said he was still delaying on some of his passes, he was trying to overdo, just like Bemiga has said about him in the past. Apart from that, in some cases, right, I would say generally he was clean. He gave cleaner passes. I think that's the word. Cleaner passes. The timing of the passes were great. He released them on time. He didn't. I mean, majority of the game he didn't hold on to the ball. There were still patches that I felt he held on to the ball a bit too long. But I would say maybe 8 out of 10 times he did quite well in terms of when he had to release the ball. And I was quite impressed. And obviously, whenever a flick or a trick comes good, you look good as well. Yeah. And for him to have been doing that, he did that a couple of times before that assist and then does it again in the assist. That proves that he was really confident today and he was worthy of, I don't know. I wanted to say man of the match, but I just thought about it. No, he can't be the man of the match. No, it can't be. It can't be. Scrap that. I was going to say man of the match. But you have his performance will probably give him between a 7 or an 8. But I'm not going to say my rating until I go around the board to know what you guys feel in terms of rating. So, Jonathan, what would you rate Ceballos today based on his performance today? What would you rate him?
I would have given 7 out of 10. I think he kept things simple, did his flashy tricks. Luckily, they panned well today. He should not be doing that against Slavia Prague. As a tip, he could have done that today against Sheffield United. But yeah, 7 out of 10 is a fair reflection of his performance today.
All right, Bemiga.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I was really happy for him today because, he had a really good game, and it's been a while since he had a really good game, and this is good for his confidence. Also, just you can see that confidence was there to be able to do, and I think even like we're still new when he started to do these back passes, right? The man is just he's just a fancy player, and that's how he's going to behave, right? But when he does simple things, when he tries to reduce that part of his game and just do the simple things, he can be a very effective player, and that's what we saw today. And in those moments where you just need that extra skill to unlock a defense, you bring it out. And that's what he did for that assist. So I'm really happy for him. I hope he finds that balance in his game to know when to be fancy and when to do the simple things. So today I will give him an 8 because he was very instrumental to that win.
You are Mr. Generous. All right.
I'm too generous.
Mr. Stingy.
Mossy boy will give him 5.
Probably I was thinking maybe give him a 4.
No,
Mossy boy.
I'm not gonna give him a 4. I'm not gonna.
We never know with you. We're open to anything.
Yeah. He's done really well today. So all his trick comes off nicely. So I'm going to agree with Jonathan 7.
All right. What about you, Jesse?
7. I think 7 because great assist for Lacazette to get the first goal of the game, and he had a very good game as well. So him playing the number 10, we can see like what he's capable of in that position. So if he wants to get that position, we need to see more of him. So
to be fair, Saka played more number 10. It's just that he moved forward a little bit more. Yeah. Ceballos was more like the box to box, partnering Tade. But then it was good to see him in that position of a number 10 that you said. But I think the main number 10 today was Saka. But anyway, we'll stick to 7 on this one then, since that's what most of you are going for. All right, the last but not the least is this man. I'll give everyone an opportunity. Jesse, I'll start with you. What would you rate this one today?
It was a good lineup today. Very good lineup. I'll give him a 7 because it was only Sheffield United, and he had to switch up the squad because we had no Abba, we had no Odegaard, so he had to bring on like some players like Martinelli deserved to start, so I was glad to see him start. And yeah, 7 out of 10. He
Okay.
don't want to.
Okay, fantastic. Mossy boy.
Yeah, it's a good lineup. It's a good lineup today, and the way he set the team up. Now he needs to know, he needs to learn from this game today that we don't really need Aubameyang in the team all the time to play really well. So he needs to learn from there now. He might probably not do so. He might probably not learn from it. Then next game is going to say, okay, Aubameyang is here, so I'm going to bring him straight back into the team. So because it can, yeah, I'm listening.
So you don't think? Okay, let me just make you think about this. What if Lacazette missed those 2 1-on-1s like he did in the Europa? Would you be saying this?
Look, if you look at most,
just a question.
No. Definitely, it's going to be a completely different story, right? And I'm not. I will tell you this. I'm not sure. Maybe probably it's only me seeing it. If you go and look at most games that we didn't start Aubameyang, we are actually playing better. All the team play better. That we don't look like we're one-man shot. And go and look at all the game Aubameyang start for. It looks like we are like 10 men on the pitch. That is the way I see it. But
so you know, I understand what you're saying, right? And I think this is something that I've had discussion with Claude, God rest his soul, in the past, right? And we kind of went back and forth about Aubameyang and Lacazette, right? But I'm talking about from a finishing perspective now.
Yeah.
Not from a team perspective. As a team, I agree with you that Lacazette it makes them tick. It connects them. It's like the missing piece, right? But then again, when chances like the one that fell to him in Slavia Prague falls to him, we're not usually sure what to get from Lacazette.
We're not usually sure, but
this is the problem.
One thing you need to understand: Aubameyang and Lacazette this season, they've not been. I would say put both of them in the same basket. They've not been firing like week in week out. So even if that chance came for in the last game, what's the name of the team we play? If it comes to Aubameyang and he misses it widely, then we're going to be saying the same thing.
Who would you put your money on? Who would you put your money on to meet you for a one-on-one? Lacazette or Oba?
Because of the because of the history Lacazette have, I will be putting my money on Lacazette to finish that chance. If you understand, I'm sorry, Aubameyang. I will be putting my money on. Sorry, I will be putting my money because he's our top goal scorer. He's our top goal scorer. But I would say, okay, if this chance comes to Aubameyang, he's definitely going to finish it. But look at today, those 2 chances falls to Lacazette. Come on.
That's what we expected from him in the Slavia Prague. Right. That's what we expected from him, and he didn't do it.
I understand.
He didn't do it, and he let the team down.
He let the team down, but it's what it is. We have to move on. On the manager today, I'll probably stick to what Jesse said. I'll give him 7.
All right. Bemiga, over to you.
Okay, well, let me first of all just put this out there. Right, the way I rate managers in my head, right? I just think if you do something and it works, you get a 10. If it doesn't work, you get a 0. Right? Because I think that what is critical, one is choosing the right lineup, choosing the right tactics, and when things aren't working in the game, you need to make decisions. If you make the right decisions and everything works out, I mean, you've ticked all the boxes, you get your 10. I will give Arteta a 10 today, right? But that's because that's how I rate managers. But that's just because that's how I rate managers. I don't know how to find
Tade, can you get him out of the show now?
No. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me ask a question. No. That's why I said what I said. No. That's what I said. That's why I said what I said. I've said that, like, for me, it's either a 10 or a 0. If it works out, you get a 0.
Have you ever been a teacher?
What did Arteta do? What did Arteta do wrong, and what could he have done better today?
But let me tell you one thing. Even though if we go out there and beat Sheffield United 7-0 today, I ain't giving this manager.
Look at this game
Why
alone.
not?
Just look at this game alone. This game alone. Can you say he did one thing wrong, and can you say, this is what he could have done better in this game alone?
He pick a good lineup, and I'm not sure. Maybe probably is the opponent in front of us, but not a 10.
Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie, right? I wanted to argue that point with you, right? But now that you asked the question, what wrong did he do? I can't tell you what wrong he did.
Say anything.
But 10 is almost excellent. You know, 10 is excellent, right? 10 is excellent.
10,
10.
it means you got everything right.
Yeah, but what did he get wrong?
All your multiple choice questions.
I don't know, man.
Right.
I'll give him a 10 if I don't know if we win maybe 7-0.
Fine, let's give him an 8. Let's give him an 8 so it doesn't seem ridiculous. I would say 8.
I need to understand have you been a teacher? I just want to know how you mark your students because I'm gonna look. Listen, if I go back to university, I want to be in your class, man. I swear. I just want to. I just know I'm gonna be getting A's, man. I'll be buying you some lollipop.
I know I'm gonna pass.
Oh well.
Man. Anyway, Jonathan. What would you rate Arteta?
I'll give Mikel a 7. Yeah, chose the right lineup, right tactics. I think he should use this as a learning point to say, if my opponent is expansive, like Sheffield were today, I know how to play. But when a team puts 11, that's where you should be looking. Do I exploit them? Then? Because you have it as a team. You either play where you play high intensity or you drop back. That's 2 ways. That's where Arteta has to focus on now. How do I beat Slavia Prague? Because I think Slavia Prague will put 11 men behind the ball. I think that's how they will do it.
Yeah.
Do you guys, okay, let me just do this rating and we'll move to Slavia Prague, yeah? So I think we should, most people are 7, so I'll have to just give him 7. Sorry, Bemiga.
That's fine.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. Let's put that aside for now. I don't know if anyone did this rating, but let's just put that aside for now. Okay? All right, cool. So Slavia Prague, what do you guys see happening in the game against Slavia Prague? Because these guys are not a walkover. They knocked out Leicester. Yeah. They knocked out Leicester. They knocked out Celtic. Big up to you.
Rangers.
Rangers. Big up to you, Mitruguna. Mitruguna, if you want to come in, we're just in the last segment of the show. I would like to hear your thought. If you want to come in, the link is right there. You can come into the studio, and then we're just talking about Slavia Prague, and we'll end the show. Yeah, if you want to come in, Mitruguna, big up to you. All right. Sorry, Mosibo, you were saying. Oh, who was talking? Was someone talking?
Someone is talking, yeah.
If no one is talking,
I was going to say that a lot of people say Slavia Prague are going to defend against us. I'm not sure, because I understood why they played the way they played when they came to the Emirates. They are the away team. When you are away, you're looking for an away goal and you want to try not to concede, right? So that made sense. But they're going to be at home. I don't know if they have fans in their stadium. If they have fans, they're not going to defend. If they don't have fans, maybe, but I think they're going to have to play with a bit more pride. And I expect a more attacking game from them on Thursday. That's just my thoughts.
Right. Okay. Cool.
My own thought on that game is I think what Jonathan said. So they're gonna probably play 6 men at the back, and they just want to go for it. Probably they will just play low blocks like what Arteta always call it anyway. So. And they would just say, "Come and break us down." Then they're going to rely on counter-attacking us, maybe, probably. But if we get a goal early, then they know that we score away goal. They will want to come out and play as well. Then the game will come open. So
don't you think it's gonna be stupid for them? Don't you think it's gonna be stupid for them to play a low block football, because it's just one goal. All we need is one goal.
All we need is one goal, yeah. But you know, all we need is one goal. All they need is draw. It can go both ways. It's 50-50. Do you understand what I mean? This is why I said if we can get the early goal, not just say, okay, we want to kind of play in at the back, we want them to come at us, then we can. No, we just need to have a go at them, get the early goals, and let them come up. Then the game become open, then we can go. So that's Jesse, the way I see it.
Right, okay. Thanks. Jesse, you were going to say something? I thought I heard your voice.
No.
Right, okay. I thought you said something.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Thursday is just a must win. Simple. It's that if Arsenal want to win, if Arsenal really want to go to Champions League football next season, this is the opportunity. This is the opportunity. Like, if they lose on Thursday, then Arteta's job is on the line, in my opinion, because if we brought in a manager just to help us get into Champions League football next season, and he came to Arsenal to do that for us, then this is the competition. This is the competition that he has to win to prove that he came to Arsenal for the right reason. I mean, like, it will be a close game because looking at our away form, it hasn't been the goodest. So it's going to be a tight game. I'm going to say probably 1-0 again. I think 1-0.
Yeah. So if I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, if I'm Slavia Prague's boss, right, I'm gonna be considering a lot of things in this game, right? I'm gonna be looking at the fact that it's 1-1. All Arsenal needs is one goal, which makes it which is gonna make it a very nervy game, in my opinion. So I'm not just gonna sit back. I will be cautious at the back, definitely, but I'm not just gonna tell my players to sit back if I'm the coach. No, I'm not gonna do that because it's too dangerous. Okay. However, I think they're also an attacking threat. They're an attacking threat. Yeah. So they know that Arsenal can win against themselves. In other words, many teams are waiting for Arsenal to make a mistake. Yeah. And it's all about pressurizing the defense, because you don't know who the partnership is going to be. We don't know if it's going to be Holding Amari tomorrow, on Thursday. We don't know if it's going to be Gabriel, who sometimes, let's be honest, in as much as he's supposed to be one of our best defenders, sometimes he looks shaky and he looks immature. You know, and that is where the likes of Luiz leadership comes into play. So many times, the reason why I rate Luiz is because when players are panicking, when players are, look like they need some sort of leadership, the young ones, he is there to calm the nerves. He has some mistakes in him, don't get me wrong. But I like the fact that he is always there to calm the nerves. You are live right now.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, man?
You all right?
I'm good. I'm good.
We're just talking about Slavia Prague. I mean, just before we go to Slavia Prague, quickly, and because we're gonna finish in like 10 minutes, really.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Yeah, what's your take on the game today? And before we move into Slavia Prague, what's your take on the game today?
The overall, it was an exciting game, but for me, you guys know, as you know, Tade, I love the tactical aspect of the game, and it was definitely something I had never expected. First, I'm seeing something like that. Basically, I'm not sure if anyone knew, but we were actually playing a 3 at the back. And we were playing a 3 at the back.
When we're attacking, right? When we're attacking.
Yes. When we're attacking, we play a 3 at the back.
Yeah.
Jacko was playing the hybrid back 3, left back, in between left back and centre back position. Yeah. Giving Saka the opportunity to literally roam everywhere on the pitch. So, but a very, very good performance, and I think it shows that Mikel Arteta has some tactical aspect to his game, and we have to give him credit for that. We know it's a bad season. It's a really, really bad season, and we're 9th. Fine.
Are we 9th or 10th?
We're 9th.
9th.
Is it because of goal difference then? Because we should be level on
goal difference. Finally, people were 9th. I can imagine.
Yeah, but Military Gunnar, I got a question for you though. Look at the way we played today. How come we haven't seen this identity in the past of all the games we played in the past?
All right, so we've seen a few. Well, the thing is, we've seen glimpses. You know, for example, like the first half against Wolverhampton, the one that we threw away the game, we were totally battering them. Leeds, we battered Leeds. We battered Chelsea. We also battered Manchester United. Then we battered
Tottenham.
So we have seen glimpses of these performances where we perform really, really bad, or the team that we go in with a mindset that these guys are not good. So we face the Burnley. We take them really, really lightly, and we give them 2 free goals. West Ham, we approach that game so lackadaisical, and they slapped 3 passes in the first half. We had to come up. Even though we got 4 points from West Ham this season, even though they're having a good season. A lot of people are not looking at that. We beat them first half of the season 3-1. Then we come back and drew with them 3-3, which shows that we actually have a level of capability to do certain things. And some of these bad performances, I definitely think Mikel Arteta has to hold his hand up for many of these bad performances. But you can see that the potential that the team has, we can do things. But I do think that Mikel Arteta needs to fix himself up
Mm.
He has to fix himself up because eyes are him. A lot of eyes are him because we're looking at the performance today and we're saying, why aren't we seeing these performances consistent throughout this time period? And if we were seeing these consistent performance, I do believe we would have been much higher on the table.
You know what? It's interesting you said that because earlier on we had this conversation about what is our definition of quality, and I said my definition of a quality player is a player that is consistent with the show of quality that he brings onto the table, not just showing me glimpses today and then you sleep for the next 2 games and then another game. Now you also mentioned there are key words you mentioned now that you spoke, right? You said potential. Theo Walcott was a potential in this club for 11 years. He never achieved his potential. Chamberlain was a potential for so many years. We thought he was going to do it in Liverpool. He's been sitting on the bench. People can argue his injury and all that. That's bullshit, in my opinion. Now, there are certain players that you keep saying, I mean, not you, generally. People keep saying, oh, we can see the potential in this player. He's showing glimpses, is this.
Yeah.
But he never realizes that potential. So, is that down to the manager or just the fact that this guy is just not good enough? What's your take on it?
All right, we have to accept. We have to be fair. We have to be fair with our perception of football. Why I say we have to be fair with perception of football is that football is a diverse game. So, for example, Tade and Mosey. Mosey plays in Manchester United for 3 seasons. Total crap. Then he moves to Leicester City. Wonderful footballer, the best footballer Leicester City has ever purchased in their history.
Sorry, what are we talking about again? Sorry, I didn't get the name. Who?
No, I'm just using.
Oh, okay.
I'm not using reference. So I'm just using a reference. So a particular place. So you take so it's military going to play for Manchester United. Total crap for 3 seasons. Then he makes the move to Leicester City. All of a sudden, he's blasting the Premier League. So we have to respect football. Football does not have to particularly do with your team alone. It has to do with the whole context of every team, how the systems are applied, and everyone. Now, we might see players and say their potential is high. Why is that they're not fulfilling that potential? And the truth be told is that these players might not or might just not fit that particular system that particular team has, and the players around him might not just be suitable for his style of play. So we should look at the perfect example is Nicolas Pepe. Why is it such a talented player we're not getting the best out of him? We weren't getting the best out of him under Emery, under Lundberg, under Freddie, and also under Mikel Arteta. But
he should go back to France then.
Huh?
He should go back to France then. Maybe his football is meant for France. I don't know.
His football is not suited. I might get slighted. I might get a lot of beating for this. But his football is not suited for a top team who's going to dominate possession. His football is for a team who will be a middle half team, somewhere where he can do a lot of counter attack and he will kill teams. Where he has time and space on the ball. Top teams in the Premier League needs to dominate possession, needs to dominate the field, the final third, which means they need technical security. Look at West Smith Rowe, Saka, Odegaard. These guys are technical secure guys because these guys are suitable for top teams.
Don't you think it's interesting you say this, right? Because I said something earlier. Musty Boy can bear me witness, and Jonathan. I said something earlier that there's been a certain improvement in his game. I'm not gonna lie, in the sense that he's not holding on to the ball a bit too long anymore. Maybe that's Arteta giving him some sort of advice. We've seen pictures of him and Arteta sitting down together in training, having some one-to-one discussions and all that. We don't know what they're talking about, but obviously it has to do with the game.
Yeah,
he's improved a lot. Compare him to when he came, where he wants to dribble the whole field, and now and today's game, where he's actually releasing the ball and all that. Is that not an improvement in his game?
That's a big point, and this is what I want to say now. So I'm going to now do a 360 on what I just said. I just said that it's not suited for a top 6, a top 5, top 4 team in the Premier League, which is right now.
Yeah, of course.
With the training that Mikel Arteta is implementing, the ability to not hold up the ball, to make the right key decision at the right time, that is where coaching can turn him into that top tier player that we want. That is how it is. So I think at this moment, we can say the reason why he's not suitable for what we're doing right now is because of what the player that he grew up to be. For example, when Mahrez went to Manchester City, it took Mahrez almost two seasons, to fully get himself involved in Pep Guardiola's system, which is the technical era. Mahrez still has that cage style football. He still has a little bit of that, but you don't see much of it.
He has a bit of Pepe. He has a bit of Pepe in him sometimes.
Yes,
but he's more efficient.
Exactly. That's what Mikel Arteta wants to take away from him, that cage mentality, that cage football that they play in the streets. You want to take that away, let him become a bit more clinical, more decisive with his decision making, because that is the problem. Just decision making. So it's not this level of talent that he has. It's just right here. It's decision making. This is where the psychological aspect, that is a part of the game that Mikel Arteta is working on. So these are the things that we have to consider. So that is the reason why he's not clicking as yet. But everyone is saying that just give him a run of 5-4 games and we'll see the best of him. That is not how football is. We can give him 5-4 runs of game and we will see him decline, because it's just that's how football is. Give him 2 games, let him go and observe what he did wrong. Then on the 14th game, he can come back in the team and then rectify. Look at how since of recently, he's getting substitute appearances, and each time he comes on the field, he's really delivering. He's delivering because he's doing those sessions where he can review himself. And Mikel Arteta, as I said, 1-on-1, 1v1, those are important. Look at what Mikel Arteta did with Martinelli in the striker training. Everyone's seen those videos going viral, where there's just Martinelli alone in striker training. And look at what we saw today. We know he has the movement and the ability already. We knew that. But look how many shots he was taking. He's now confident. He's now confident in taking those shots. And that we know that he has that potential, but that was something that recently added to his game, which means he can score more goals right now.
More goals,
I mean, does anyone have anything to add to that?
Yeah, we see, Minister, you see me just sitting down there listening to you.
All right, then, that's fine.
Everything you said is spot on. Trust. It is.
It's interesting that you say this, because I want people to understand something. I'm going to say it on the record. People are allowed to change their mind. Okay. What do I mean? If a student is not doing well in school right now, and I like to use real life analogies, the report card is there. The ratings that we give these players are the report cards, right? Yeah. The report card is there. Right now, you're not performing well. Right now, you are not good enough. That doesn't mean that next year he cannot be a world-class player. That means he's improved some certain area of his games. But right now, certain players are not good enough. It's as simple as that. So I don't want people to mistake me when I say something like, oh, the player is not good enough. And then maybe 1 year down the line, I say, okay, he's improved, he's getting better and all that. Then people is going to slag me off and say, well, you're not the one that said he's not good enough. This is people improve. And I keep using myself as an example. I was telling you guys this before Mitri Guna and I think JC joined. The first time I played defensive midfield, I was a dunce. Because that was the first experience I had. I was forced into that position. I didn't understand the technicalities of that position. I was scared. I couldn't do a lot of things. But I improved with time. Trust me, if I was a professional player, then people, Master Boy will have slagged me up and said, what the hell is this guy playing?
Of course, because you're not doing it right.
Exactly. But with time, you improve, you learn. What pisses me off, right? What pisses me off is some certain players don't learn.
Look at this. You use a great analogy when you said a student. When you're going to school, right? So, for example, in biology, you'll find one particular student is just not good in biology. But put that particular student in mathematics class, and he's the best student. So in biology class, he's a total dunce, as you said. When he's in mathematics class, he's a mathematician. So for every different technical area suits that player. That is the reason why it is important that if you're a football player, whatever you master in, you should try your best to try master that and find a club that fit that particular system. That is the reason why I think Martin Odegaard is a perfect player for a technical-based footballing team. That is the reason why he will fail at Real Madrid. They are not about the possessional technical base. They do have technical players. I won't deny that. but they are not that type of technical based player team who dominate possession, 60-70% possession throughout the entire game. For example, like a Barcelona. Martin Odegaard in a Barcelona would be magical. Martin Odegaard in a Manchester City would be magical. But guess what? These are the decisions that I'm seeing players for. Like when I see like Holland. I'm seeing Holland going to Barcelona. I'm saying that doesn't make any sense to me. Holland is not a technical base player. Barcelona wants to retain 80% of the ball through the 90. That is not Holland. Give him on the goal and he'll go towards the goal. That is Holland. That's a Real Madrid type of play. That is Real Madrid. A player like Mbappe will get involved in the game, small, intricate touches, playing in the end. That would fit Mbappe. So it is straight to me. I can be wrong. I can be wrong. But there are certain particular type of football that fits certain players. And you have to make the right decision. One of the reasons why Arsenal looks so significantly poor when we have no Granit Xhaka, no David Luiz, and who else? Let me see. And no Kieran Tierney. Is because the system that Mikel Arteta plays is solely suited for these type of players. It is suited for this. It is perfect. And then no. So for example, the best partnership we can have is actually a David Luiz and a Pablo Mari. But the reason why David Luiz and Pablo Mari cannot work is because these two guys are two senior players who are two commanding defenders, and they won't take talk from each other. So it would be an ego problem.
You see, it's interesting because for me, right, and you guys know, my best pairing is Holding and Mari. I don't know, no one likes Holding, but that's the best for me. That's the best pairing that has given the best returns, even today.
The reason why my issue with Holding is a good defender, but my issue with Holding is that we concede a lot of sloppy goals that are in bases. For example, Aston Villa, Manchester City with Ryan Sterling. I don't know why he can't hit a ball. So Ali Watkins' early goal against us with Aston Villa. Manchester City, even the other night in Soccer Prague game, he could have done a little bit better. I do believe that aerially, he loses aerial battles too often. He does not go close to his man, stick on to his man as early as possible. And I think that is my problem with it. And David Luiz, who's a senior experienced defender, will get in those battles. He will get physical. And you know, David Luiz is so-called, or call it now, his ratings. If he comes too close up there, definitely it's a penalty in a record.
All right.
But there's different systems.
All right. Let's talk about the final segment of the show. I said we're at 10 minutes. We've gone above 10 minutes now. Slavia Prague. We were talking about Slavia Prague before you came. What's your take on the Slavia Prague game? How do you think the Slavia Prague guys are going to set up? We have difference of opinion here before you came. I felt that I don't think the Slavia Prague manager is going to be he's just going to sit back and defend because it's just one goal that Arsenal needs. I think Mossy Boy and the other guys feel that they're going to sit back and defend. And I'm thinking if they do that, that's really danger for them. Because I don't know what your take is on that, but what do you feel about that?
First of all, Slavia Prague is unbeaten in their league right now at home. They're doing an invincible zone in their league. That's the first thing, which means that they're having a good season. But secondly, I am really afraid of them. I am really afraid of going down there because I know that we have been struggling against teams that play in a deep block. We have been struggling. And now, when we started to win those games against teams that play in a deep block, it's when we have Odegaard, Emil Smith-Rowe, Saka. Those players are present when those type of teams. But guess what? Two of them will be out. Odegaard and Emil Smith-Rowe likely to be out of that game. But I know for a fact that they will be defending because they know that once we don't score, they are going through. So the coach will be thinking, okay, all of Slavia Prague home games this season in the Europa League, they have about like 42% possession, which they sit and catch you on the counter. They try not to concede and catch you on the counter. But we have to look into that. Mikel Arteta said, have to look into that and say, okay, we can't really go there and think that we are going to just attack and they won't come at us. They will try to counter. They have mastered the counter-attacking style. They did it against us Eve the other day. So we have to go there and try to be as clinical as possible. I saw that Lacazette knew that he missed 1v1 against Slavia Prague. Look at what he did today. 1v1, he hit it bottom corner. I think that for now, the good thing about it that when we played against Slavia Prague, they were defending and we still scored. They were sitting deep and we created a lot of chances. So I think we can replicate that performance. And I do believe that we can at least go there and score 1 goal. But the problem is, can we keep a clean sheet?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? All right. Predictions now. Mossy boy, what's your predictions for that game?
I'll probably be thinking we're gonna win 2-1.
Okay. Military Guna, predictions.
I'm going for another clean sheet. 2-0.
You guys are confident. Jonathan.
I'm say 1-1 after end time and then 2-1 Arsenal after 120 minutes.
Wow.
So
you feel it's gonna get into extra time?
Yeah,
come on, bro.
They're gonna use you. You will have the ball. You will have the ball, and you will play it around, and you will maybe get 1 goal, and maybe if it depends who starts. Yeah, if you're gonna start with Holding and Murray, maybe you could keep a clean sheet. But if you're gonna start with Gabriel and someone else, I don't see that happening because Gabriel looks rusty the last few weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. All right, Jesse, prediction.
I think 1-0 Arsenal.
1-0.
1-0. It'll be close.
All right. I'm only gonna talk as a confident Arsenal fan, and I'm also gonna talk based on the hope that Lacazette finds his shooting boot because, like he did today, because if he messes up the way he messed up in the last game against Slavia Prague, we're not going through. Because right now our hopes are gonna be on Lacazette. Let's not forget, we're not even sure whether Saka is gonna play because of the injury. We don't know the extent of his injury. So if Saka is not there and Smith-Rowe is not back, Odegaard is not back. So, exactly. So you guys have totally forgotten about that, right? Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Except we play the way we play today. Everyone is on point with the one-touch football. Everyone doesn't hold on to the ball too long. Then maybe we'll have a chance. But it's a tough one. It's going to be a very tough game because we don't have all our attacking midfielders. Except Odegaard comes back fit. Even Odegaard, I'm not entirely sure, but at least he's been good in the Europa this season. So I think for me, I'm only going to be saying this, maybe 2-1, maybe, just as a confident Arsenal fan. But if Pablo Mari should play, I have a strong love and affection for Pablo Mari. I just like his calmness at the back. It's solid. I like his calmness. For me, he doesn't panic. And I hope Mikel Arteta starts him. I really do. I really, really do. Anyway, all right. Any last words from any of you or all of you around the table? Any last words? Mossy boy, any last words?
Yeah, just go there. Just get the job done. Just be professional and just get the job done. That's it.
Okay. Any last words, Mr. Gunnar?
Arsenal, please, don't break my heart. I have a very, very soft heart. My heart I can't manage. Please, before the game, I tweeted, I am ready for my heart to be broken again. That's what I tweeted. So I'll be tweeting that every game day.
All right. All right, Jonathan, any last words?
You know what? Yeah, Champions League this week against Real Madrid. I'm gonna light up a candle. Yeah, I wear my full kit and hope that Liverpool somehow get through the tie. There you go.
I totally forgot you're Liverpool. Honestly, yeah. The only way you guys, if you have to invoke, you need to go and call the gods that helped you guys when you beat Barcelona. The other time. You need to go and get those gods.
No, somebody.
I swear to God. Nah, you need to. Jesse, any last words?
Arsenal, please win on Thursday because this Thursday match is crucial, and this is like what's the future for next season. Because if we're out Thursday, we know what this means. No European, no nothing. So Arsenal, please win on Thursday because I really want that semi-final.
right.
Fingers
Okay.
crossed. Fingers crossed.
All right, then.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we see. We
All
see.
right.
I hope you guys get
All right.
Miami.
Mossy
Villarreal.
boy, nah, I don't want to meet him. I don't want to meet him because he's gonna be like a wounded lion. That guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna be really angry. He's gonna be really angry. I don't want to meet him. Anyway, Mossy boy, make sure good. If you guys can stay behind, yeah, don't go.
Yeah. Okay. all right,
Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, for coming on. It's your boy here, the Blunt Pony. Love us, we love us, haters, we haters, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Take care,
cool.
people.
Awesome.
Take care.
Yes.
Take care.
You don't need a coach.